Welcome back to another episode of the After the Bell MMA podcast. We're here in the wake of UFC 223 and the Conor McGregor shenanigans.
Yeah.
And then going to talk a little bit about what's coming up and other things in the news. But, man, you're driving this thing, so...
Man, I am driving this thing. This is like, this is the weirdest part where I'm like, this is the hard shit, because it's like you have to manufacture a sentence in your head, where it's like, welcome to me and you talking into microphones and hoping someone's listening, and then like, okay, like, what is this show again?
Man, talking about fighting.
Yeah. I mean, that is the... Yeah, man, that's it, actually. No, yeah, man, it's just...
That's all it is.
I mean, it devolves into talking about not fighting, because fighting isn't always about fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting is like only 40% about fighting, as it turns out.
Even actual fighting, like,
Even then,
some of it's preparation and skill and timing.
Yeah.
Just...
Man, desire, will, all that shit.
But,
yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, man, I was in a bit of a sad place coming up to 223. And, man, immediately after, I was a little bit bummed out, if I'm going to be honest. But then, man, it took a bit of time for all the dust to settle and everything.
Let's just, if we want to start on that, like when you and I last officially spoke, let's put it that way.
Yes.
We were like, Max Holloway is getting me excited. I'm sad about Tony, but I'm gonna get myself back on track. You know, it's champion versus champion. I'm into this. Max Holloway could do something incredible.
Yeah, there was story. There was story to be had.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, this week, it's been what a crazy week in MMA. What could happen and then just fucking
shenanigans.
Frogs start raining from the heavens in Vegas. Locusts come in. Like the moon is as blood. It's just
chaos.
So here's what I got. Here I made a timeline, like a very brief time, but just here's what I have happening. So, and this is all while Max Holloway, by the way, is still the scheduled opponent for Khabib.
Yes.
When this happens, Max Holloway is in the title fight. Conor McGregor takes 2 private jets from Ireland to Las Vegas, to Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn.
Yep.
He lands in Brooklyn. On those 2 private jets, him and about 20 or 30 goons?
Goonish characters.
I mean, they could just be his friends.
Thugs?
Men.
Stand over guys.
Certainly, like, down to fuck some shit up friends of Conor McGregor. Or, like, yep, we're going... Like, were they all going for that trip? Or did he round them up? Because I know he was going. He was always supposed to be coming. But I feel like he just caught up some of his buddies.
2 days before that, you've got Dana White saying, nah, Conor's not coming.
He was always coming.
We wish he was going to make it.
He was always going to come, though. Because they had that big press conference and shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm pretty sure he was always going to come. But anyway, so he lands in Brooklyn. He is allowed into the arena by the Mac Life guys. Who do they have like the sort of news site called the Mac Life.
Oh, okay.
Which is like I assume, monetizes it in some way, shape, or form.
It's a subsidiary of his.
Yeah, but they're like credentialed journalists, and they go to every UFC and all this sort of shit, and they take pictures and, you know, report on this and that and all the rest of it. So they apparently let him in. They just see him and they're like, hey, Conor, in you come. So he comes in with, and his goons, obviously. The
truckload of goons.
Yeah. So they get in. He finds Team Khabib's bus, which is obviously populated with all the other Red Side fighters as well.
And trashes it.
And then, he tries to pick up the barricade first. And they say like somebody stops him, but it's like, you ain't picking that shit up over your head. Good fucking luck with that. He goes for the much more manageable dolly. And I'm just like, that's not proper safe handling, Conor. You didn't do your fucking blue card test at all, did you, mate? Like, they don't teach you that.
Quick, pull him up.
Yeah, not wearing a hard hat, not wearing high vis.
You're going to HR, son.
There's a lot wrong with what Conor McGregor's doing there. So he fucks up this bus, He cuts Michael Chiesa's head open. He gets shards of glass in Ray Borg's eye. He traumatizes Thug Rose Namajunas.
Man.
Yeah, I know. Meanwhile, Karolina Kowalkiewicz is like, I am Polish. What is wrong with you, silly girl? So that all happens. Then he runs away like a weird child, swinging around a post and yelling yippee or something. It's fucking weird. You can see video of it. And disappears into the night to be arrested sometime later. Puts Chiesa out of the fight with Pettis.
Puts Borg out.
Puts Borg out of the fight with Moreno. Artem is one of the goons, so he's out. Obviously, if you're out there gooning around, you can't fight properly 2 days later. And just, you're left in this wake, right? Where you're looking around and you're like, what the fuck happened to this pay-per-view? What did he just do?
Yeah.
And you're he's just looking at you
Took out the wrong fighters, man.
Well, there's that. You couldn't have thrown a dolly in their Beck Rawlings as side of the bus.
Man, even Joe Lozon. Sorry, Joe, we love you, but I didn't need to see that. Man, that was...
Man, how about Groots? Throw it at the Groots, alright? Don't hurt Joe Lozon.
Man, he's still got a chance. Joe's getting paid to take damage.
Just a little cut on the head for the Groots. You'd have survived.
You're telling me, getting some glass in your face isn't worse than what happened to him? He'll be laid up for a while.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day for Joe Lozon.
Eyes swelled shut.
To cap this Conor thing, though, we're met with the news that the thing he was originally flying out for, supposedly, rumoured, maybe, was that they were going to announce that he was going to fight Floyd Mayweather in a cage with heavily modified rules.
Surely not.
It's going to happen.
Man, I don't know what's going to happen with Conor McGregor.
This is where I wish, certain things we've discussed were on record. Where I feel like, at least 3 or 4 months ago, I committed when we were talking about it, where I was like, they're going to fight. And you were looking at me like, no, they're not. And I was like, yep. You mark my words, man, that's going to be the fight. It's going to be Conor versus goddamn Floyd in an octagon.
Last week, you were convinced it was going to be Conor versus Khabib.
No, I think it should be Conor versus Khabib. That's different.
Man, and the reaction to the Khabib fight makes me think it's going to be Mayweather.
It was always going to be Mayweather. Khabib can't make 4 billion pay-per-views, no matter what he does. Well, not 4 billion, 4 million, rather. That would be a lot.
Yeah.
2/3 of humanity bought this on pay-per-view. Man, that's kids. That's some kids are buying that on pay-per-view.
Some Olympic shit going on there.
Yeah, some numbers tampering. But yeah, Khabib can't make that number happen.
Yeah, true.
Only Floyd can make that number. That's the number Conor wants. Something big, something massive. So, I mean... In a week where we crown a new undisputed lightweight champion... Where there's a champion defense. I know that's
a clear dispute.
Yeah, I know.
An undisputed.
That is what he's called. I'm just saying that's the name of it. I'm not making a.
I don't think there's ever been more of a dispute in the history of the sport.
It's funny because
you ask different people who the lightweight champion is, and they'll tell you different things.
The problem is that he's so good. If it were anyone else at this point, you'd be like, yeah, if it were Conor. If Conor was in Khabib's situation, you'd be like, nah, he's not the undisputed champion. There's too much weird, but because it's Khabib, you're like, yeah, he probably beat Conor and Tony, though. I'm fine with just saying Khabib's the champ, right? And everyone's like, yeah, it's probably okay. But again, it's not even, Khabib's just not the story, somehow. Somehow, it's all about McGregor. 12 counts he was charged with. Different forms of misdemeanor assault and misdemeanor...
Mild shenanigans.
Causing a ruckus. Yeah,
Don't do that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of this Saito show stuff. I feel a little bit sad that last week I was making comparisons between MMA and wrestling, the WWE, and then within 24 hours there's like backstage camera footage of one of the fighters like trashing something.
The most famous fighter.
Yeah. Just like, I take it, but I wish I hadn't said that. Can we just go back to a normal world, please?
Look, it's always gonna have its weird theatrics. Like I said, what's odd about this is just I don't get what he's thinking.
Yeah, me either.
Like this is I don't.
But I don't want to either. Like, there's part of me that's not invested anymore, and that's not because of what he did. It's just it was just the amount of time that he hasn't really done anything in terms of, MMA.
Man, he's holding the best division hostage though, and that's you got to keep sort of bringing him up because he's at the head of the best division in the sport.
Well, maybe in a way it's the best thing for the division because it's going to keep them more hungry.
Maybe, but I think that'd be all. That belt changes hands so fast anyway. It's got a history of just it's too hard to hang on to. BJ Penn was able to hang on to it for a little while, but even Benson was able to hang on to it for a second. But
yeah,
eventually guys give it up. Man, I don't. Yeah, he's gonna lose a lot of money out of this. He's gonna have to pay some money to Chiesa and Borg.
Yeah.
Man, they're gonna sue you, as they should.
Yeah.
And I've got to assume the UFC's going to fine him. I've got to assume that the Athletic Commission... I mean, I don't even know if they can... The state of New York, maybe, just fines him. I don't know. It's...
I mean, they could revoke his visa.
Yeah. I don't think they will, because he brings in too much money.
Yeah.
But I could certainly see them charging him a couple of $1 million for this. Like, it's going to end up costing him a little bit of that Floyd money. So, 10% in fees, 10% in cocaine,
20% tax.
Man, I'm running out of money quick. It's like, alright, I spent like $5 million on custom suits.
Well, that's not the worst thing in the world, because that just means we'll see him in a cage again soon.
One would hope, but...
Like, oh man, I need some more of that money.
But only in the circus of Floyd Mayweather.
Ugh. Man, let's talk about something else. What else have you got for me?
Man, well, I'm just trying... Is that the end of the Conor madness? Is that everything?
I mean, that's all I want to talk about for now.
Do you think Artem Lobov gets fired? I think he does. I think that's his job.
He's the fall guy.
Yeah, one of the many. The Mac Life guys are probably in some fucking trouble too. I don't know if they're getting credentialed in any more UFCs. Dana wasn't happy with them.
Man, repercussions all around. Yeah. We'll see.
Hand slaps, wrist slaps all around.
You guys, look at this. 13 million views or whatever the shit this is.
Well, that was my favourite thing, that Dana was like, this is one of the most disgusting things in the UFC's history. Here it is, uploaded to YouTube as a part of embedded. Please, 3 million people watch it so we get more people tuning in tomorrow. And you're kind of like, that's a bit shady.
Man, it is what it is.
That is the UFC way of saying it.
Anything to make a dollar.
Yeah. Man, you got to profit off Conor McGregor in any way we can.
Man, any publicity is good publicity. Or so they say.
Well, he's good at generating that.
I still don't understand it myself, but I like watching his fights.
Oh yeah, he's a good fighter. I like the fighting part. I don't even mind some of the shenanigans. Some of the shenanigans are fine, but like this much shenanigans is way too much. Yeah. Back when he was like stealing Jose Aldo's belt and we were all kind of laughing, you're like, oh, this is good natured and fun. Like, I like this. Now he's throwing shit at buses and jumping in Bellator cages and shit, like grabbing referees and stuff. You're like, come on, man. And like, there are people out there defending it too. Where they're like, oh, but he's doing it. He just defended his friend.
What a great guy. What a swell guy.
Because that's the other thing too, right? The whole thing about how he flew 30 goons from Ireland to Brooklyn, New York, because Khabib slapped Artem in the face or some shit.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, gave him a bit of a fucking scare. Where he was like, hey, you better tell your fucking buddy to watch his mouth. Like, come on. The fact that people are like, that's exactly how I'd react. I'd round up 30 goons, I'd fly halfway around the world, and you just get the fuck out of here. You gotta be kidding me with that shit.
Man, I'd totally do that.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, like, the idea that this comes from some place of honour. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, you know, anything you need to tell yourself to convince yourself that, your number one guy is still number one.
I mean, I did like the memes that were coming out. Conor McGregor, titles defended, 0. Artem's defended, 1. Yeah. God, we just need to put pictures of Artem Lobov's face on those world titles and Conor will come flying to defend them.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Fly rocket ships to the moon. You know, just somehow leave Artem with Khabib. Just handcuff Artem to Khabib. Just, come on, Conor. This is the only way you can save him.
2v1.
Yeah. God, I mean, but that'll just be Khabib with Artem's dead body attached to him then. He'll try and beat Conor to death with his own friend. Very quickly get rid of Artem.
I'd pay to see that.
Again, that's on the Russian fight card that has knights and, you know, coming up after this, the joust. A real joust?
Man, don't people get hurt doing this?
Pretty sure that's why they stopped doing joust, right? Man, there's a lot of fallout from it.
Man, I'd rather talk about the division itself than Conor or Khabib right now.
Man, the division's got some working out to do, but
yeah, I know.
You've got to talk about Conor. Just can't. And Khabib, especially when you're talking about the rest of the division. But
we have now. So
look, I can
is the door open?
I can segue it straight into my fucking ridiculous for this week, which was...
How is it not
again,
what we just spoke about?
It's in reference to it.
Yeah.
So Ray Borg pulls out of the fight, right?
Yeah.
Now there's footage of Ray Borg in the bus when it happens. He's got glasses on.
Yeah.
So like it's 2 seconds you see him for in the bus. And all these people are like, how could you get shards of glass in your eye if you have fucking glasses on, blah, blah, blah. Like basically saying that Ray Borg wanted out of the Brandon Moreno fight and chose this. Somehow he knew this was going to happen. He knew that someone was going to throw a dolly at a bus. And he was like, aha, this is my perfect out. I've been waiting 3 months for something to get me out of this fight.
My eye! Yeah. I can't see.
And just, the amount of people who went after him. And like to the point where he posted his fucking medical information online. And he's like, I didn't want to not fight. It's like, I just went, they're like, you have to go see a doctor if you're on the bus. He's like, yeah. He's like, I went and saw him. And they're like, man, you got glass in your eye. You can't fight. And I was like, oh, shit. Really?
But I was wearing glasses. This number one bullshit.
Yeah, I know. And just the fact that he had to post it. This guy fought Mighty Mouse.
That he had to forge it first and then...
Yeah, probably, right? There's probably people online
the
like,
conspiracy theories.
I know a fake fucking doctors don't want to see one faggot.
Yeah.
Stop being a pussy.
I can make that in 5 minutes.
Leave McGregor alone. Stop trying to steal his money, you fucking pussy. Like, this sort of shit. It's just like, what specifically in your mind's eye does Conor McGregor's dick taste like? Just when you close your eyes and you imagine real hard.
Green sherbet?
It's, I don't know. And nickels or something. Like it's...
Rainbow sherbet.
Just that mindset. Think about the logic gaps you have to jump over to get to this man who most recently fought Mighty Mouse Johnson and just took a beating and kept coming back for more, was put into one of the greatest submissions of all time and like fought it for a good 15, 20 seconds, or just wouldn't give that armbar to him. Was desperately trying to get out of it. But he's such a pussy and a coward that when your favourite fighter picks up a fucking hand truck and throws it at a bus that he's in, he's immediately like, I can get money out of this. On the bus, he's like, I can get money out of this. Yeah, just, first thing I'm going to have to do is pull out of my fight like a bitch, because I don't want to fight Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
He's much more scary than Mighty Man. Like, just leap after leap after leap in logic, and you wind up at all these faggots want to steal Conor McGregor's money.
This is, how are we even talking about this? How did this happen? This is not what I had in mind for the podcast.
It's not where I thought we were going to go after last week. Like, we were like, oh yeah, we'll be back here talking about Max Holloway maybe. Nope.
Nope, Conor, somehow.
Conor, all the time. He knows. He knows we just started. He's like, man, every topic will be about me.
Alright. We'll talk about you again, but I'm not into it.
Can't be helped. Cannot be helped.
Man, the rest of the division, though, it's good. It's deep. Man, OAM just beat Dunham. Hernandez beat Dariush. We've got, a division with lots of booked fighters, but who's free now? Like James Vick?
I don't even know. Again, you got to look. Are these guys injured? Are they? I'm not too sure. But if that's like, if you want,
Pettis?
I don't know what's going on with Pettis. Who knows when he'll be ready to turn around and go again. Same with Felder. Man, all repercussions of Conor madness. Conor mania.
I say, because I was pretty into the idea of having OAM fight Hernandez, but then I'm like, nah, man, you just let them off in the division by themselves and see if they clean it out. Because I'm looking at both those guys, like I'm really interested to see what they're doing down there.
I don't know. I really liked Hernandez. I thought Mercier looked fine. We can talk about the rest of the card. That's in my round 2. We can start round 2.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Round 2.
Round 2. If you want, we can start on the rest of the card. We can work our way up to Khabib.
Man, go for it.
So look, I don't want to talk about much. It's like OAM looked fine. It was fine. That's all I got for you.
Man, you didn't get much in the way to see how far he's come, but like he's definitely been developing his striking. He's young. I can see him, getting a good mix in the MMA and having some real success in that division. And I think the same can be said for Hernandez. Although once again, like more cage time.
Alex Hernandez, I'm much more excited about. Now, I've only seen him fight for about 5 seconds, but I just the look, the way he moves, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, man, this kid I'm gonna watch. I'm just. He was good. You did good against Evan Dunham.
Yeah, he beat him in 50 seconds.
Yep, that's great.
Man, Evan Dunham's real hard to put away.
Yeah, sometimes.
Unless you punch him in the liver.
Like I said, I'm not.
He doesn't like that.
Yeah. But it was fine. We'll see what he does next time.
But it's like, who do you give him now? It's tough.
Somebody in and around it. Massa and Duba maybe, Francisco Trinaldo, someone like that. There's plenty of lightweights out there. Doesn't have to be a ranked guy.
Fair call.
Just someone in and around there. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not a fight where I'm like, all right, like that's it got my attention, but
yeah, I'm
still not. Like Hernandez blew my hair back, man. I was like, holy shit, who's this dude? Whereas, I'm like, okay, well, let's see you fight somebody not old and washed up. And
man, I definitely see what you're saying there.
I feel like I'm being mean to Evan Dunham, but he's just been through it. He's been through the ringer.
Man, I still think he could have some good success in that division. But
not against. Do you reckon against anyone of like a real level? You think Evan Dunham can beat anyone in the top 15?
Man, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. Man, he walked over Evan Dunham.
Yeah.
It's like, so the door's open for him. If he can do it, now we get to see it.
Look, he probably had the best stoppage of the night. I can't think of too many stoppages that were better.
I'm trying to think what were the other stoppages. What else was on the card?
That's a fair point. Oh, poor old Joe Lozon got stopped.
Man, I called that a minute and a half out from the end of the round. I was like, oh man, I hope his corner stops it. And they stopped it, and I was like, yes, I'm actually happy about that.
Yeah, nice guys.
It's a correct decision.
Yeah.
Man, Joe Lozon was a punching bag out there. I'm sorry to say it. He had a couple of big elbows, went for a heel hook, and then was a punching bag.
That's on him.
Yeah. Man,
Would you be happier if his chin was so gone that he got dropped like 30 seconds after the heel hook?
Man, I'd have been happier if he like moved and then attacked.
He's old. Stop asking him to do young man things. He's an old man now.
Well, they feel like pretty simple things in the fighting game.
Man.
But, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the guy. You know, it's great for him that he gets to fight in that card and he's earned a spot there and all that. But, man, wasn't pretty.
No.
I feel like my emotions took a beating watching that.
Can't be emotionally attached, kid.
I didn't want to be. It's not like I did it on purpose.
Yeah. But, I thought the rest of the undercard was. I didn't watch any of it. I
watched all of it.
Yeah. What did you think of Carolina's fight?
I feel like she won, but she wasn't up to where I thought she could be. Like, I don't think she performed to her potential. But I feel like she handled Felice fairly comfortably. A few moments there where it didn't all go her way, but man, she's got her head screwed on as a fighter. She doesn't panic much. So yeah, I think she handled it.
Yeah. But yeah, the undercard looked very, very weak after Hurricane Conor blew through.
Yeah, but Zabit got pushed up to the main card, which is where a lot of people feel that he should have been the entire time. And man, after the fight, it's hard to disagree. Man, you watched that fight, yeah?
Yeah, I watched the entire main card.
And it was great.
It was.
It was entertainment. It wasn't.
It was I feel like I'm being a bit of a hater because part of it, again, it was more just that I wasn't surprised. People were like, "Oh my god, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "I've seen Zabit. Zabit did everything I expected him to do. He was all the shit that I've seen him do before." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, he's real quick. I know that. There's no tell on all his shit. He's real good." And again, with this one, I do have on record of us talking about it, where I'm like, nah, Kyle Bochniak's tough as fuck. He'll walk through some of this.
Yeah.
So it was better than I thought it would be.
I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, not in terms of the volume, because the beat looked really measured and paced to me. But the precision of his strikes.
Yeah.
The managing his power, just his fight awareness. I was like, man, he seems pretty seasoned in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit man, how green is he? It's like, man, no, he's not really that green, man.
Mm-hmm. And I liked Bochniak's approach. For a guy who, if that's the limit he has, he just doesn't have low kicks and combination punching and things like that, he marched him down really well.
Man, he did.
Man, that's how you beat this guy. The same way Holliskin beat Raymond Daniels the first time they fought in Glory.
He's getting inside.
Close on that space. And he can't, he was trying to still throw spin shit, but he was either all the way in or all the way out for it. And that was the Bochniak's distance I thought was really good for a lot of parts of the fight.
That he game planned a particular strategy and then was able to execute it for the full 3 rounds as well. Shows a lot about the guy.
Yeah, especially when it was man, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
This game plan is going to hurt.
And, he did about as well as you could expect. And I think he'll come away from that a better fighter. I think he'll go, man, I can...
Depends how much damage he took.
I don't think he took that much.
Oh, he took a bit.
He took a bit.
He was chin out, fucking begging him for more at the end.
Come on,
so
put it there.
Yeah. Very impressive by both guys, though.
Yeah, what was unimpressive was I was the only person who cheered and clapped at the end of the fight at the venue I chose to watch it at.
Yeah, that's your shame for going into public and then standing and applauding and nobody else stands and applauds and then you just feel like the one arsehole standing and applauding. That's on you. This is why I don't clap.
Just come on, man. What if you were here to watch this? How is this not what you're here to watch? That was fun. Even if you want to see, I just want to see the top level guys fight the top level guys.
Yeah.
And it's man, you still wouldn't be complaining about that.
Man, if you're the guy who wants to see that, then you want to see Zabit though, because he's an up and coming top level guy.
Yeah.
You don't just want to see the top level guys when they're good. That's if you didn't want to see McGregor fight until the Aldo fight, like, nah, I only want to see him when he's good. Like, nah, man, you got to watch these people on the come up. That's half the game. It's like trying to spot them. Man, is he going to be good? No. But
Man, he could be real good.
I'm like, he's got the talent. Like, people saying put him in there with Yair next. I kind of...
Man, he said that.
Well, a lot of people are supporting it as well.
People say all sorts of weird things. People saying Moicano.
Man,
Probably shouldn't trust those people.
I don't know. Moicano didn't look for any takedowns though in his fight. I don't know what you would give as a beat next. It's hard. If he wants that big a leap, maybe give it to him. If he thinks he's ready.
I think we'd all enjoy watching that fight.
At the end of the day, you could name anyone in the featherweight top 15 and puts the beat in there, and you're probably going to be into it.
Yeah, true.
So it's a good division, and he's obviously exciting enough that him versus anyone right now is fun.
Indeed, man, I'm definitely into it.
Mm-hmm.
Featherweight division is a good bit of fun.
Yeah.
So do we get...
well, in featherweight...
Just quickly, does that mean we get Ortega Holloway again?
Yeah, that's back on.
Okay.
That's back on. That's where we're gonna get to the Khabib thing in time. Did you get anything out of Cater Moicano other than the Boston finishes? That's his peak, probably. That's about as good as he can do.
I thought I was going to enjoy the fight more than I did. I think it was pretty obvious that Moicano had a game plan. Like, he just knew where he needed to be to win the fight, and he was more than good enough to win it there. And he wasn't in too much danger when he wasn't there, and he wasn't there for very long.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, impressive in the sense that displays maturity, I guess, and an understanding and a dedication to the... Like, this guy's for real.
Yeah,
like, he's ready to do what it takes to win fights. He don't care if you don't like it, man. He'll kick a guy in the leg for 15 minutes, and he'll make it hurt. And he'll clearly win. Like, I'm not upset with it at all. Like, that's a pretty... Like, who won the fight? It's like, yeah, we know.
Who is coming up? Who, I wonder, could he fight at featherweight, though? Like, who would you give to Moicano next?
Well, man, his record's still pretty good. His only losses to Ortega.
Ortega, yeah.
So if Ortega wins, then Moicano his record becomes still pretty...
Yeah.
He's got a claim, yeah? He can get the rematch, almost?
He's got to win against somebody elite.
Yeah, but
you got Jeremy Stevens fighting Aldo.
But he's real close, right?
Depends on who the opponent is. Like, if he went out and fought Yair or someone like that next, I'd be like, no. Even Zabit, if he went out and fought and beat Zabit, I'd be like, okay, that's a prospect, though, kid. Like, you got to, go beat Cub Swanson. Like, if Cub beats Frankie, and he beats Cub, then you'd be like, okay, like, you get a title shot.
Yeah.
But there's still a whole list of guys above Moicano.
Hey, man, he's not out. He's definitely not out.
Lamas, Emmett.
Oh, man, Emmett will be out for a while still.
His vicious concussion that he suffered. And then there was another fight on the main card, but I didn't care about it. I've already forgotten what it is. That might have been Joe Lozon. Might have just been the sad, depressing defeat of Joe Lozon.
Man, Rose Namajunas, you on Jacek.
I gotta tell you, man, I almost score that for Joanna.
Yeah.
Real close to scoring it. Like, I watched it, and I knew that Rose won when I watched it. And once you get through the impossibly biased commentary, which I'd like...
It's not impossible.
Dude, Rogan... I wanted the camera to pan out to see if he had a Thug Rose shirt on. Like, he was just flatly ignoring stuff Joanna Jędrzejczyk was doing in the opening 2 rounds.
Maybe just in his mind, he was like, well, I'll just commentate for Rose, and then whoever's sitting next to me can do the other shit.
Except I'm going to talk over everybody. Like, man, it was, surprising. That's as biased as I think I've heard Rogan in some time. Where he's just like, look at these shots look at her distance management, blah, blah, blah. And, like, he starts talking about Joanna's leg kicks in the 3rd and 4th round.
Yeah.
She didn't just start this now. She's been doing this since the opening bell. She's been like, that's how we got here, is that she's chipped away at this leg for fucking 15, 16 minutes. And the fact that he's, like, just randomly starts acknowledging it.
Man, maybe he got, like, a prompt or something. Someone put a post-it note in front of him. Just said leg kicks. And he was like, oh, yeah.
a little bit of
I love leg kicks.
a little bit of objectivity is all I'm asking for.
Man, he's a passionate guy. He's invested
Yeah,
in it emotionally. He loves the sport.
I'm fine with all these things.
Man, I feel like he's getting too much flack. It's like people say, no, Joe, you should know how much persuasion you have over your audience or whatever. It's like, man, you got to be more careful about what you say. It's just like, man,
people saying that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen people say things on that vein.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I thought he did a bad job.
And you're just like, man, like if you're pinning everything to just one guy, then
look, at the same time, I've got to be, it's to some degree, like all the judges saw it that way too, right? They all had it 4-1 for Rose, which I thought was crazy.
Man, I didn't think it was crazy, but it was a bit of a shock. Like when they read it out, I knew it was going to be Rose who won. But like if they had said, 48, 47, I'd have been like, I don't know.
That seemed to make just much more sense that it would be 3-2. But like I said, I mean, I'm okay with Rose winning because I'm a damage guy and she did more damage. I feel like.
I mean, like so.
But she got out-volumed. There's no doubt about that. She got out-volumed every single round. She did not win one round on volume.
That's not how you win rounds.
It's a way to win rounds.
Man, certainly. Man, I think so. I'm not a scorer in terms of like I don't know how they do it. Like how
A judge?
Yeah.
You're not a judge.
And even a scorer, like they must have some sort of scoring system, surely.
Yeah, but
I'm not I'm not an official. Like I don't.
There's a.
But at the end of the fourth round, watching that fight, I thought, like in my head, it's like, yeah, whoever wins the next round wins the fight. Even though, like, I might have had round 3 for Rose still. Like I think she did well in the opening, like 2 minutes of that round, and then the last 3 minutes, JJ really took over, and then again for the fourth.
I guess. Honestly, I thought it was real close. Like if they fought again, I could see a world where Joanna beats her.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it now. I don't think Rose is going to defend for very long. Like one,
she
maybe
lost
two.
to Carolina.
Yeah.
They've fought already, and she lost to her.
I don't know. I'm hoping Rose can continue to surprise me.
I just want the fights to be good. Don't be terrible. And the fight was pretty good.
Man, it was a pretty good fight.
So there's that. There's always that.
And then the main event.
The main event. So now this is a tangential chapter of the previous conversation about Hurricane Conor, because in the wake of this bus bullshit, if we're now to rewind things in the conversation back to the bus, so Khabib gets off the bus, he's fine, he's not shaken up, unsurprisingly. Yes, I wrestle bear. I'm not afraid of the Burger King and his goons. So I think the next day, Max Holloway gets ousted from the main event. Now, I don't know if you heard why Max Holloway got ousted from the main event, but it was because
weight cut.
Not exactly.
He looked funny.
He looked
funny.
Dehydrated.
Yeah.
The New York State Athletic Commission decided that he looked too dehydrated and that they were going to pull him.
I wonder how dehydrated you have to be to look it. Like,
well, I wonder if you can maybe just look more dehydrated than perhaps you actually are. Like, Max very much wanted to keep going, by all accounts. Max was happy to speak to a doctor, but they were like, no, you failed the eye test, mate. That's it, you're done.
Blood tests? Nah, they're no good. Can't trust them. The old eyes up here.
Yep.
I'm looking at you right now, and the diagnosis is you're not fighting.
Yep. He's just like, okay, so...
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
So that's, another fuck up by the New York... No, they're not doctors. They're Athletic Commission members. So he gets out. So we hear, like a few hours later, Showtime Pettis is going to do this thing. We all fucking pull ourselves back together, right? Like, boy, Showtime's probably going to get killed, but fuck it. Like, I mean, let's do it. He apparently goes and says, hey, I'm going to need some money to do this. Very reasonable.
Yeah, no. Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest name you got for the replacement.
Yeah. Next thing you hear, not Pettis. We're not doing Pettis anymore. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess whatever that money was is too much. And it's going to be Felder. So we're like, oh, fucking shit. All right, so now in the midst of all this as well, I assume somebody keeps coming back to Khabib. They're like, hey, man, it's not going to be Pettis. You like Felder as an opponent? And he's just sitting there, like, trying to make weight with, like, a couple of hours to go, probably, right? Like, yeah, fine, okay, Felder, sure.
What the fuck is happening?
The New York Athletic Commission gets involved again as they look at Felder and say, oh no, he's not even ranked. He's not experienced enough to face Khabib. Because he's not ranked in the UFC ranking system.
He doesn't have a number.
In the arbitrarily made ranking system of the UFC, Paul Felder doesn't make the cut. So he can't fight him. Which leaves us to arrive at Ragin Al Iaquinta.
The weirdness.
A man who was literally like at war with the company. A few months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago,
Yeah.
It was on Ariel's show, cursing the UFC, tearing his hotel room up at the fighter conference and shit because he's a madman. And now he is in. And once again, we go back to Khabib, who just shrugs his shoulders for the 6th time this week and says, sure, man, I will kill anybody you send in there with me. And he gets in there, and I know there's criticisms of Khabib's performance, but I just thought, man, that's how you handle that. How's your week been? Weird and tiring and constantly changing.
But I get to beat someone up.
But I'm just going to maul this super dangerous motherfucker.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he did maul him for 2 rounds, and then
he
stood up.
Then he outboxed him for 2 rounds?
Yeah, that's the weird part of it. So, in round 3, I'm watching it, and there's a moment Khabib lands, like, 4 jabs in a row.
Yeah, and Al's like, throw another jab.
Yeah,
throw another jab.
And I'm watching it, I'm going, oh, he's trying to goad him in. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to stand up fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, 2 rounds later, you're like, what's he waiting for? Like,
Take him down.
was this your strategy?
Oh, Al.
Yeah.
Man, he was throwing in those exchanges. He was trying to land the big right hand, but he's tired. He's been beaten up.
Yeah, and I think
he only
like,
trained for 3.
like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, part of it must be that, and part of it must be that for 2 rounds Khabib just mauled him.
Yeah, stringed him up.
Yeah, took all the wind out of his sails. And either way, it's definitely an interesting decision from the Eagle to to dance.
Yeah. And it showed some little deficiencies in his game and all the rest of it.
When he showcased his striking talent.
Yeah, he's got a good jab. He's got a decent jab. Yeah, it's about the takedown and the killing. And the 5th round, I thought he looked strong again too.
Yeah.
So
give me 5 more minutes, I kill an elephant.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. Man, he won every second of it. And again, for the week he had, for the ups and downs he had, biggest fight of his life. This is it. This is the title fight. Just come out and handle it like it was just another day. Yes.
What did they score? Like 43,
I think. One of the.
And that was under the new rules?
Yeah.
So 10-7s are possible?
Yeah. No.
But no. Still no.
No. Just would have been the first couple. Would have been 10-8s, I think.
Yeah, do you
Al
think
had like 0 offense. The strike count after 2 rounds, I think, was like 61-6 or something.
Do you think Moicano possibly could have got a 10-8 in one of those rounds against Cater? Just from like not getting touched and just doing stuff?
No.
Or you think it has to be like more damaging than that?
Maybe because he stunned him in the 3rd round, right? You heard him. But he wasn't active enough, I don't think.
Yeah, but he was never in trouble either. Like, how dominant is that? It's
No.
like, man, he seems untouchable to the other guy.
I hear what you're saying, but no, I wouldn't say that's a 10-8.
Well, the judges certainly didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where are they? What are they? How do you spot them? How do you spot a 10-8?
Let's just get rid of it. Just fucking get rid of it. Give me some pride rules. Just get to the end. Who won?
Yeah, you tell me who won, that guy or this guy. Yeah, but, betting options. That would get rid of so many betting options.
Wouldn't it?
And that's why it'll never happen.
God forbid we just make the right decisions.
Because money is
King.
paramount. Yeah.
But yeah, and so what is next for Khabib? Much as it pains me to say it,
Conor.
I'm like book Tony again. the Burger King's going to fight Mayweather, so...
Yeah, I mean, if you got Dana White saying, I'll never book that fight again, it's like he's exactly the kind of guy who
That's
you can't
almost the
trust.
guarantee that it's going to definitely happen.
It's already signed.
Yeah. I've got posters ready.
He's like, hey, Khabib, if you win, you get to fight Tony again. If you lose, you get to fight Tony.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it'll be interesting to see what shakes out at lightweight. We'll have to see what happens with all this Conor nonsense.
Man, it's going to be fun. Because
Hopefully. If it gets rolling. Because it's a good division.
yeah, the whole thing's shaking. Like, who knows what could happen?
Mm-hmm.
We might all be talking about someone else at the end of the year. Floyd Mayweather,
UFC.
lightweight champion of the world.
Definitely. Just making a rain in the octagon, throwing up them stacks.
It's been that weird of a year though. Like, if it's going to happen any year, I feel like this is the year.
Who knows what could happen. We're just getting started. Like 3 pay-per-views into this bitch.
Man, what else you got for me?
Man, I've got a short break and then we'll be back for interim champ of the week.
Interim champ of the week coming up next. And we are back with round 3.
Swear to God, we need some goddamn music. We need some interlude music so I can just come back in feeling like a bit of a groove too. Even if it's just in my head, if I know it's going to be edited in later, I can feel the music as we come in.
Yeah, well.
And then we segue right in to interim champ of the week.
Yeah, we could work on that.
Things we will work on, I'm sure. But my interim champ of the week, I got a weird one. You got anything for this week?
Man,
anyone who stands out for you this week?
Man, not particularly.
No? I've got a guy who's out there fighting for you and me. And that's why I think it's a special one this week.
Righto.
Fighting the good fight. Do you recall, it's probably over, it was definitely over a year ago now, maybe even 2 years. It's been a while. Do you recall USADA out there banning Nick Diaz for 5 years for smoking weed?
Man, I heard it was 18 months.
Well, they banned him initially for 5 years. And then I think it got restricted, or like pulled back a bit.
It's because he's been done like 5 times or something.
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Now, in the interim of that, though, like USADA would keep like testing him. They'd be like, and they'd test you. They'd like call you up and be like, "Hey, where are you? We want to come test you."
Yeah, he missed.
Nick Diaz just like turned that phone off, basically. Like, I'm never ever going to tell you people where I am. I don't care. They have settled with him, and he is going to be eligible to fight again in about 1 week.
Yeah, I know. Man, I knew this.
This is awesome.
Man, did you think it was going to be a long, long time before he came back?
Man, I still don't think he necessarily will come back.
Yeah.
But I'm just ecstatic that he's more or less won this. Like, yeah, he lost time.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's paid much. I'm sure he probably worked out some fine that he paid with them, some small amount. But they tried to throw the book at him, and he picked that shit up and threw it straight back at them, with a couple of middle fingers on the end of it. And 2 years later, they've come around and been like, you know what, we're sorry. You were right.
Well, man, I don't think it's we're sorry, but you know he's getting a year ban for this, but
it's retroactive
yeah,
in that sense.
going back to April.
Time served.
Going back to when?
Yeah, that's one of those
Anderson Silva,
things.
Man, Anderson Silva got banned for 12 months for steroids.
Yeah.
After that fight.
Yeah.
And then
Nick
Nate gets banned for 5 years.
But yeah, he got banned for 5 years.
Because he had marijuana metabolite in his...
I don't care if he was high as shit. Leave him alone. It's like eating a banana. It's not some high grade shit you go to like a drug lab and you work on together. If Anderson Silva wanted to go out and get some weed, he could. And that's where I'm like, no, it shouldn't be illegal. That shit should be fine. That is a level playing field. That is openly available to everyone. If we live in a world that's not stupid.
It's restricted, right?
Yeah, no, it's somewhat not openly available, unfortunately. Yeah, but it's openly available to Nick Diaz, god damn it, so...
Yeah, you can get it in the States.
And that's where I'm just, they both live in the States, so... Yeah, but yeah, I was happy. I was real happy that, like I said, they obviously aren't going to come out and say they're wrong, they never do. But the fact that just very quietly, they're like, yeah, but he can fight again. Basically, he can fight in a week. They're saying, like, not even we're gonna, he's got to serve out for. They're basically like, yeah, in 1 week he's cleared. And it's like, look, he couldn't fight in a week even if he wanted to. He'd have to book a fight, promote a fight, build it up. You have to train, get ready. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because the amount of people who get, Cynthia Calvillo's out there getting done for pot still. It's still some bullshit that fighters are getting pulled up on. And I feel like the Diaz brothers are very much at the forefront of not even like crusading for it, but just like saying fuck you to that rule and continuing to get stoned.
It's been like, yeah, this is wrong.
Yeah, so I'm just going to get high and not worry about it. And I kind of love that. But yeah.
Man, yes, I can't see how smoking weed would make you better at fighting.
Dude, Nick Diaz said he was high as fuck for that Robbie Lawler fight. He kicked Robbie Lawler's ass.
Yeah, that just seems insane to me. But
he was supposedly high as shit for the Gomi fight. That's one of the great fights of all time, the Gomi fight.
Yeah, well, maybe it should be banned. What side are you arguing for here?
I'm just saying Nick Diaz can do no wrong. And I think those guys on weed are, like, you and I are like top level amateurs, and the Diaz brothers are professional smokers. Like, that's how I imagine it in my head. And we're like, oh man, if I had the funding and the team behind me to turn pro, I could make a go of it.
Yeah. Wonder how far I could get.
Yeah, how much could you get through in one day? Could I go to some sort of marijuana cup type event and come home with a trophy? Yeah, maybe get your face on High Times magazine, some shit like that.
Next to Sean O'Malley.
Oh god. Get my own strain of weed named after me.
What a dweeb.
But yeah, man, the possibility that Nick Diaz could return and fight just anyone at all. Both the brothers could be back, fucking people up. What a world that would be.
And it'd be nice. I miss seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
Just sick of this shenanigans nonsense.
Yeah.
Man, take it back to the street.
Yeah, that's where they'll take it.
Yeah, that's where them fighters have come from.
Mm-hmm.
You think they come from like private jets and like mink coats and shit?
Oh, that's where you get Conor into like, I am from the street. You don't fucking look like it anymore, pal.
Yeah, man. Are you sure?
So I loved that. That was back in the first Conor Nate fight. Like, he was getting so wound up because Nate was calling him a rich kid. He's like, my fucking father's a plumber and all this shit. And he's like, man, you look like a rich kid to me. Yeah, mate. That's just getting under the skin. Man, Nate won many of the psychological battles I felt in that fight.
Man, that was half the fun.
Yeah, it was. Someone who didn't fucking fall into his shit. But yeah, man. Nick Diaz. Goodness. That'll move me on to round number 3. There's a strong edit point.
Man, round 3. What do we got?
Round 3 is coming up. We are back to your regularly scheduled programming of every fucking week there's a fight.
Yeah, every week there is a fight. Here we go.
And this week it is Dustin Poirier, the Diamond,
Man,
taking on the god of violence himself.
Justin Gaethje.
Indeed.
That's how you say it.
Gaethje.
It's spelled pretty weird, man.
Yeah. It's like
These fighters, man, I tell you.
Yeah, it's Gaethje. There you go, Gaethje.
Well done, I think. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
How would I know?
I don't have internets in front of me either. That's just, I know that shit. Still can't spell Yin J check though. Don't worry, I haven't learned that yet. But man, this is a good fight.
Man, I'm actually really happy about this. I went back and watched some old footage, and that's fun. That's really good.
Yeah, look, old footage of Gaethje is good. All Gaethje's fights are entertaining. And
Man,
most of Poirier's are pretty decent, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm a known Dustin Poirier hater. For many, many years, I've been on the train of, I don't think this guy can cut it. Like, I remember Michael Johnson was his last loss, and I called that a mile away. I was like, this guy can't beat Michael Johnson. Since then, Dustin Poirier has really improved. He's had 3 fights. He fucked up Jim Miller, I think. He beat, he had the no contest with Eddie, which was a very closely contested fight. Well, yeah, I don't know when it's a no contest, there's obviously going to be some controversy.
Man, should it have been a DQ?
Man, whatever. It was.
Yeah, because that's just, then it's the win on Poirier's record, and then, he should be getting a title shot.
In that sense, I think no contest is right, because I'm like, he shouldn't be getting a title shot off that. Like, it was one of those things where you're like, oh, alright, there's a bit of a fuck up here. Let's run this back. Like, that was always the idea I thought they should have ran it back. Like, alright, just do it again. But then he comes off that and he beats Showtime. And that was a real good fight too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched that one, but
not yet, and I probably will though.
It was a good fight. Showtime has his moments, and that's where I wonder, is Gaethje going to get the better of it? Because Poirier will give you a chance. It's still one of my problems with him, is he's there to be hit. I mean, he's improved on a lot of things, but I still feel like get to that elite level.
Well, man, the thing that's got me thinking most with Gaethje is that leg kick of his. And you're just like, how effective is that going to be in a fight against Poirier? Because that's something you definitely need to consider.
Man, if it gets into the second, and late second and third rounds, I think Gaethje's leg kick's effective against anyone.
Man, they're very axey. Like, they just remind me of someone with a big long axe just swinging into your leg.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, man, that looks like it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Man, he should be teaching people how to do that.
He's just constant with it. I mean, it's gonna be fireworks. That's the one thing I'm happy about.
Well, man, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure it is going to be fireworks anymore.
All Gaethje fights are fireworks.
Like,
Gaethje doesn't allow for anything less than fireworks.
I mean, if you use the Cato Moicano fight as a bad example, right, and then a lot of people thought that was going to be fireworks, and it kind of wasn't.
Yeah,
but because it was, game plan, strategy plan out, and I can see.
I can see Poirier trying to have a game plan, but it's not going to happen.
I think because Gaethje just got to get walked through.
Gaethje doesn't let you. Your game plan has to involve chaos, because Gaethje is going to create chaos. He won't let it lie. He just walks into the fire. He's done it with everybody.
Yay!
And that's what I mean. Right? His style of fighting is such that it's very difficult to take him down. And even if you're outstriking him, he just keeps coming forward. So it's like, yeah, man, this is going to be a crazy war. That's all Gaethje knows how to do, is have crazy wars.
And then, Eddie sure figured out the way to stop him, and it did take, a big knee.
But even then, right, like, it was also a big part of that was Eddie just being willing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to meet you in the middle, and I'll do this with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, he's like, that's just he was hurt throughout that fight, Eddie Alvarez, by Gaethje, and just like, yeah, man, this is the way to beat him. Just be more crazy.
Man, well, he still had to have that big shot in him, that deep into the fight as well. And it's like, where is it? It's like, yeah, man, it's the big knee up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way that fight was going to end, man. It was like that or the siren, because those boys were just going to keep banging.
Oh, yeah. They were exhausted. Gaethje was so tired, and he was still just marching forward like a zombie.
Man, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And to actually see the finish, I almost couldn't believe it, because I was like, yeah. So I guess that's why Alvarez is still, gatekeeper of the division.
Oh, he might be a little more than that. Like I said, he had one bad night. I don't think I'm ready to throw him out just yet. He might have had a real bad night, but it was just one bad night. But yeah, man,
I'm definitely
he's out there calling out Khabib. Eddie Alvarez. You talk about tough motherfuckers, man, crazy motherfuckers. He's the one guy out there who's singing that name. So give me Khabib. Tony's out. We all know the Irishman ain't going to do it. I'll fight him. It's like, yeah, man. Eddie Alvarez, he's still got something left in him. And he might be an interesting one to fight Khabib.
Yeah, definitely.
very good counter wrestler. It's going to be hard to take down, harder than probably anyone Khabib's fought.
He's got good power,
Yeah, good
especially in
boxer.
the clinch.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to be standing with Eddie.
Yeah.
He'll tune you up. Yeah, man. Could be an interesting fight.
Man, and then if Khabib just fucking Khabibs him, then
Another one down.
yeah, everyone will know.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll know what we already suspect.
highly, highly suspected. It's like, I don't know, is Khabib the best now? Like, well, he's got a belt. It's like, yeah, but he didn't beat any of the top 3 guys.
Oh,
It's
wait.
like, but
They just crushed someone.
Yeah.
No, okay.
they gave him someone like, around top 10.
Man, like I said, I think if you give like the top 4 lightweights to me, Conor, Khabib, Tony, and then Eddie is right behind them.
Yeah.
And I think a win over any one of those 4 guys, and you can say you're the man.
Yeah.
Because nobody's beaten them, except Conor's beaten Eddie.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they just won't fight each other, or don't fight each other, I guess. But yeah, man, hopefully this weekend will sort out the underneath fighters a little bit.
Set things up a bit more.
Man, just give us an idea of what the division's going to shake out like. Man, you got Condit on the undercard. The depressing, not fucking all violence classic that would have been Condit Matt Brown and is now instead Condit versus the other cowboy.
Who you got in the fight?
Oh, I don't know. I can't, it's hard to say. If it was the regular old Carlos Condit, I wouldn't even think about it. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know what you're going to get from him. If he's got the fire, obviously Condit.
Yeah.
If he hasn't got the fire, maybe Brazilian cowboy.
How likely do you think it is to go the distance?
Fairly.
One of those fights.
Man,
How likely do you think it is to be fight of the night?
Not very.
Man, seeing as how you picked it last week.
I don't even know what's on the card this week.
Man, I can bring it up for you.
Yeah.
There's like 14 fights this week. Here we go.
Jesus. The other 4 fights I've got listed to talk about is Izzy Adesanya is fighting Marvin Vettori.
Yeah.
Which should be a walk since Izzy's an up-and-comer and Vettori's Italian. And
Should be walking.
Italians are terrible.
Man, he's not is he the good Italian fighter? He's not, is he?
No, Giorgio Petrosian's the good Italian fighter.
Not
Who's a
Vettori.
kickboxer. Vettori I think might be their best MMA fighter, but I'm still not convinced. I'm sorry to any people who are partial to Italians. You're great at other sports, but I'm yet to see an Italian MMA fighter who's made me like, oh yeah, they've got violence in their hearts, those Italians. Which is weird, right? Because they've got to be Roman descendants. You think they'd have plenty of violence in their hearts.
Man, they're just sick of it. Just exhausted.
That's why we haven't got any Mongol champions. History of doing it for too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got I've got Wilson Hayes is fighting John Moraga. That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's what did I call it? A mentionable notice?
Yeah. So, that's not a phrase that seems right. Tim Boach is fighting Shoeface.
Man, who's Shoeface?
Shoeface is Antonio Carlos Jr., otherwise known as Shoeface.
Man, why do they call him Shoeface?
I think in Brazilian it's something different, but yeah, it's just like one of those Brazilian nicknames. You know, like Harris is
that really a picture of the dude?
Yeah, Pal Harris is Toquinho, which is tree stump. You know what I mean? So Shoeface is probably...
Because he's got a big round face.
I don't know. It's got to be something to do with his face, I expect. He's only lost recently. Man, he lost to Dan Kelly.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That is not good. Man,
not good at all.
and Pat Cummins.
Man, that's much more forgivable.
Man, he choked out Jack Marshman.
Man, it seems like he's gotten better since he beat Vettori. There you go. He's at least better than Italians. There you go. Man, he's a great jiu-jitsu competitor, Shoeface. I'm pretty sure he's won like world medal, like gold medals in jiu-jitsu and shit. So he's a very elite jiu-jitsu guy. And the other one I got, I guess, is Diego Lima, brother of Bellator welterweight Douglas Lima. He's facing Yushin Okami. You want to talk about guys who used to have it and just don't want to stop. Yushin Okami. Pull up Yushin's record. That ain't going to be a fun thing to look at.
Man, that's a long record. If we're going to go through that, we need to do a round 4.
I just mean recent. I don't think I want to go down to the start and be like, remember when he fucking fought at Rumble on the Rock? Beat Anderson Silva by DQ? What's he coming off? So he loses to OSP. Then outside the UFC, he has a bunch of wins against nobodies. Then he loses to John Fitch. He loses to Fitch.
And Branch.
Yeah, but come on, man. Fitch was a welterweight. You losing to little John Fitch?
Man, you underrating John Fitch on me.
Man, I'm telling you.
This was back in 2015.
Prime Yushin Okami should be handling John Fitch. And then before that, yeah, Dave Branch beats him. And then the UFC, Jacare beats him.
Yeah.
Which, no shame in that.
Yeah, so he's only losing to the good guys. Like, Branch is pretty good, man. A loss to Branch doesn't...
Look,
I wouldn't expect Okami to beat Branch.
He got handled so quick by Okami. I don't know, maybe Diego Lima could be doable. I mean, the fact that he's a split decision against Paul Bradley. Who the fuck is Paul Bradley?
Are you sure you want to go down this rabbit hole?
I just quickly want to see who Paul Bradley is.
Who is Paul Bradley?
Now, give me a picture. No. He looks like a miniature Brock Lesnar.
Roids.
Lost to Alexander Shlemenko. But yeah, so there's a bit of nostalgia value on the undercard, a bit of sorting out to do in some of the divisions, but 14 fights, go fuck yourself.
Man, 14 seems excessive. I mean, maybe another bus gets mauled this week.
Oh,
and
God,
then,
where's Conor this week, right?
Yeah. This should be like 10. Cut this down to 10.
Just file all the Fight Pass fighters onto a bus together.
It's like, oh, there's a fight card every week now. You're like, oh, I guess I only have to watch 4 fights a week then.
Basically, it's
like, nope.
Dude.
We want you to watch 14.
17, all these guys. Man, Alejandro Perez is on the card. I know him.
Man, he's fighting Matthew Lopez.
Oh, I know Lopez.
Man, why are they on the undercard? Shannon Dobson.
Man, they're probably coming off losses. I don't think that's the right bout order either.
Yeah, Luke Sanders.
I don't care.
Man, he'll win.
Do you really care about a guy who lost to Super?
Man, I want him to win now because I want him to get some revenge in that division.
Sure.
Man, I'm putting my heart in there. I'm investing my emotions.
I don't even know you're talking gibberish.
Man, let's go. Let's get up there, son.
I think Wilson Hayes is going to get tuned up. He's looked very old in his last couple. Ever since DJ crushed him, he hasn't looked right.
Man, it's an interesting prediction.
I can see John Moraga stopping him.
Man, can you see Waterson subbing Casey?
I don't care.
Man, I can't. Can't see it.
Do you care?
Not really. Man, I care more about Krzysztof Jotko fighting Brad Tavares.
That's...
Didn't Jotko have that weird one where he was winning and then lost somehow?
Okay. Too many fights.
I mean, I feel like that's something... His last fight ended up in a GIF.
Who against? I'm probably being too hard on Michelle Waterson.
Oh, Uriah Hall.
Oh, he lost to Primetime. That's not good.
Man.
You're not a big Primetime believer.
Yeah, not at all. But I feel like that was anomalous data. I'm willing to
overlook it.
Skip that. Yeah. Man, anyone can lose to Uriah Hall.
It's true. Even Musasi slipped up against him. That was one of the more enjoyed rematches of Gegard Musasi's life when he got that Uriah Hall fight back. He was like, I'm going to fucking show you what's up this time, buddy.
And even this split decision with Dave Branch.
Yeah, it's not bad. Nothing wrong with that.
He's no pushover, man. This guy's a legit fighter.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, at middleweight too, so let's find out how deep it is.
Brad Tavares, man, I think, he's a good fighter, but I feel like I've seen kind of his limit.
Well, man, I'm more interested to see why we've got 2 guys just outside the top 10 here, and we've got them fighting each other. So,
what's Tavares coming off of?
I want to see, is it good? Is it, if you do that in the middleweight division, is it a good fight?
Beats Hallis Latus and Elias before that.
Last loss is to Witt.
And Witt floored him though in like 30 seconds.
44 seconds.
You've got a screen that you're looking at. I just pulled that shit from memory.
Man, I'm just trusting this. Man, maybe it was 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Went the distance with Yoel back in the day. Man, he's a good fighter, but he's on a good run. Man, all right. Maybe I'm being too hard on Brad Tavares. Maybe he's put things together. I need to see what he's looking like lately. Whether he's made some evolution to his game.
Well, man, he had 2 fights last year.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember them. It's too hard to keep up with all this shit.
Decision.
Yeah. And I'm like decisioning later, so I'm like, he's probably putting Taos layers away, yeah.
And hopefully.
That's about what I got for this week.
Yeah, it should be good. I don't know. I'm not willing to throw it away yet. But
it's too many. It's too many right at the jump. Like if you've got Sunday to yourself. See, assuming anyone listens to this, in the land of where everything wants to kill you, we have to watch UFCs on a Sunday morning.
Yes. Instead of church. It is church.
I don't like to use that word with anything. It's too much of your day. You can't ask me to give you that much of my day. And I'm not even doing that much with my day. It's just sit down for 6 hours. From like 9 till 3 basically. And just watch a never-ending parade of fucking Modelo beer ads, Metro PCS ads, and the occasional fight. Cross your fingers that it's good. Because we're just throwing guys in there now, hoping for the best.
Hoping that the cream will rise to the top.
Yeah, there's good shit in there, man. I would argue Izzy is don't miss. You don't want to miss Stylebender.
Yeah.
This kid's on the rise. He's ridiculously confident. Very, very entertaining style. Going up against a guy who, based on the country he's from, should lose.
Man, how do you see that fight going? Just quickly. Really?
Yeah.
Man, I can see it taking time.
Man, I'm basing all of this on Vittori's Italian and we'll get squashed.
Man, so
I think this is going to be quicker than the last one.
Man, I remember
he was fending off takedowns in the Australia card.
Yeah.
I think he's going to crush Vittori.
I remember Vittori's last fight.
Oh yeah.
And so he won the first 2 rounds, 10-9, 10-9, in fairly close rounds, but they were clearly his.
Mm.
And then he flaked and got 10-8'd.
Mm.
So
what he drew.
Yeah. He threw it away for a draw. Like he just got squashed in that last round.
I remember Shoeface beat him, and that's it. And that's only because we just read it.
Man, so I think Izzy. I don't think Izzy's going to put him away that quick.
I think he is. I think he's going to fuck
I think he's definitely going to put him away.
Inside of 2.
Man, I'm thinking maybe 3rd.
Well, look, the betting show is where you make your bets. We can look at that when the odds are up later in the week, but
it's probably not paying very much.
But
what's Izzy by knockout paying?
Well, in round 3, I'd say it'll be paying. If you're getting that specific, it'll be paying alright. If you start proper betting
2 or 3. Like he's so patient too. Like he's just not going to go in there and flurry him down straight away.
No, I don't think that's. No, I'm not saying that. No.
Pick him apart.
This isn't about Izzy coming out with like a fucking
hurricane.
Yeah, this is just he's
Dolly.
He's much better than this guy. He's going to just walk him. Sometimes you can do that real quick, even when you can't. It's got 5 minutes.
Man, so not fight of the night then?
No, knockout of the night maybe. Performance of the night perhaps.
Man, what's fight of the night? Surely
Gaethje.
Gaethje Poirier. That's 5 rounds. Can it be done?
No.
Can they survive 5 rounds?
Somebody will drop. I don't even think it'll go.
Can you get fight of the night if you don't do the distance?
Yeah. The odd 1-rounder gets fight of the night sometimes. If you get a really good one, like, do you remember Arlovski, Travis Brown?
Oh, no.
You remember that? Where they were like, Arlovski hit him with a back fist and knocked him down? It's crazy. Like, Arlovski drops Brown like 2 or 3 times, and then Brown, like, almost unconscious, drops Arlovski. And you're just like, holy fucking shit! And then Arlovski recovers and, like, knocks Brown out standing against the fence. It's just like, yeah, man, crazy fucking 4 minutes of just, I'm going to punch you in the head from both guys at heavyweight, no less. So it can happen.
Man, Condit.
Who knows? Like I said, that's where I'm like, there is stuff you don't want to miss. Those 3 fights in particular. Obviously, the main event is outstanding. Condit's, what becomes of Carlos Condit is interesting. Such a great fighter in his prime.
Yeah, maybe he just needs another one to get going.
Maybe it's not over. But even if it is, like, that's worth tuning in for. And then Izzy is must see. And then look, I picked out stuff on the undercard where I'm like, all right, look, I like John Moraga, I respect Wilson Hayes, Bosch versus Shoeface should have some quality to it, like. But there's stuff there, but it's ultimately like, look at this fight. You're pulling up this screen here. Who's Buller? Where have I heard of him?
Man,
Heavyweight.
These are both nobodies.
Versus Adam Werch. I feel like I've heard of Arjun Buller for some reason.
Man, these guys are like both like new to the UFC.
Yeah. He's fought Luis Enrique and he won by decision. Okay, but yeah, so there's just too much.
Look at this dude.
Jesus.
26.
Christ.
Siwi. Man, current streak, 8 wins. Does he look like a beast to you?
Yeah, man. He looks like something that the Aryan nation built in a lab to fight for them.
Man, one fight in the UFC, decision.
Beat Anthony. So they're both decision wins at heavyweight. Maybe they're anomalies and it'll be an entertaining...
Oh man, this is the rest of his record. Sub, TKO,
Submissions,
sub, TKO, sub, TKO.
One can hope.
Oh, and his first loss was to Marcin Tybura.
Marcin Tybura. That's worth something.
Way back in the day.
Yeah. See, look, maybe there'll be something on there that's worth watching, but I don't think I can recommend anyone giving their full 6 hours to it.
Man, it's 6 hours.
Like, to me, I'd be like, look, if you can watch the Stylebender fight, try to do that. But otherwise, if you roll in for the co-main and the main, you're good.
Probably get all the good stuff.
Yeah, man. Reddit will have gifts.
Man, gifts are a thing.
Indeed. So, man, I'm back into the regular weekly swing of things, where I'm sort of into 2 or 3 fights, and the rest probably just going to depress me.
I mean, I don't know. I'll see how much I watch. Might go have breakfast with my mother.
Oh, look.
She'll like that.
Is it one of those days? Is that day coming? No, that's in May, isn't it?
Oh, no, man, I don't do those things. Are you kidding me?
Man, my mother gets too upset if I don't do those things.
Man, I had to explain to mine, like, they're not things.
Man.
These are just made up things.
Man, you could explain it to my mother a million times, then you'd finish and she'd be like, so I get a card for Mother's Day, right? You're like, I thought you understood.
So, hello, meaningless gesture.
But I want a card. Man, that's about what I got. Tune in next week.
We'll be here.
Look,
talking the same shit.
I mean, ultimately, this isn't for you.
Yeah, we were doing this anyway, so...